Back in early 2000s and late 90s, we had a Chief Minister, Sri Chandrababu Naidu garu, who had a very pro-business, pro-IT image. He was considered very business savvy, he was considered very business friendly, etc. And then in 2004, we had another Chief Minister, Dr. Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy garu, who came in, who had a very pro-farmer, pro-welfare, pro-rural kind of an image. So we had a Chief Minister who was pro-business, pro-urban, pro-business, and then we had a Chief Minister who was pro-farmer, pro-rural, pro-poor. But today if you look at Telangana, what makes this unique is KCR garu has an image of both. In fact, it's a blend of best in both. We have a pro-rural, pro-agriculture, pro-welfare image. We also have a pro-business, pro-urban, pro-development image. Now let me substantiate and let me back that up by a few statistics. As was pointed out, the gross state domestic product of the state in 2014 was 5,05,000 crore. Now it's 13.27 lakh crore. It's a huge, humongous growth, highest for any state in the country. The per capita was 1,12,000 in 2014. Now it's 3,17,000, highest for any state in India today. For the 28 states in India. Let me also point out, the key sectors where we had to consolidate our strengths, where we had to ensure that all the synergies that are possible, in terms of, because, there is an existing ecosystem, so you'd want to build on, brick by brick that was built with a great deal of love and affection, great deal of effort in the past, had to be consolidated. So if you look at it, life sciences is a sector where we certainly added a lot of vigor, a lot of strength, and today we are a formidable force, not just in India, but also in the world. We produce 40% of India's pharmaceuticals from Telangana. We also produce 1/3 of world vaccines. And next year, in fact, we'll be producing 50% of global vaccines. Let me also share with you, we have the world's largest number of US FDA approved manufacturing facilities for any province in the world. The largest number is in Telangana, 214. The second largest is in New Jersey with 189. So we have the largest number of such world-class manufacturing facilities right here. Not only do we have these, we are further consolidating on our life sciences strengths. So we have launched India's largest medical devices park in Sultanpur, Patancheru, which is again which houses more than 60 units now, including the world's largest stent manufacturing facility. Also now, we're in the process, the last leg rather, of launching the world's largest pharma cluster in Mucherla, which is about 30 kilometers south of Shamshabad Airport. If you've heard me clearly, you would have heard not India's largest, but repeatedly world's largest. Now, one of the things our Honorable Chief Minister believes in firmly is, if we really have to compete with the world, with the large manufacturing countries across the world, be it China, or be it the US, or any other large manufacturing country, we need to operate on scale, at scale. Only then will you be able to bring in economies of scale, compete. I remember in this exact venue about 2 years ago, when Mr. Piyush Goyal was here, he and we sat with the All India Med Devices manufacturers as part of the annual flagship event of Telangana government, BioAsia. I had invited Mr. Goyal, he was here. So we were having a closed door discussion. So since it was a closed door discussion, we asked the representatives of the medical devices industry to speak freely and openly. And Mr. Goyal is a very progressive man, and he was very keen to hear from the industry. This was almost, I think, right around the time of COVID, 2 साल पहले. तो वो राउंड टेबल मीटिंग थी, उसमें से एक इंडस्ट्री लीडर ने, मैं नाम नहीं लेना चाहता, अच्छी बात नहीं है, वो खड़े हो गए, बोलने लगे कि सर बात ऐसी है कि आज मैं चाइना से कोई ग्लव या मास्क या कुछ खरीदता हूं और उसको शिप करता हूं हिंदुस्तान, हैदराबाद और wherever in India. It actually is cheaper than manufacturing here. Now you tell me what is wrong in what I said, or what, you want us to compete with Chinese, you want us to compete with other large manufacturing medical devices companies across the world. आप कहते हो आत्मनिर्भर भारत, कैसे करें बताइए? क्योंकि मैं वहां से शिप करता हूं, हजारों मील आती है, मैं टैक्सेस पे करता हूं, जो भी इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी से सब पे करता हूं, फिर भी वो चीप होता है यहां बनाने से ज्यादा है. तो दिस इज one thing that was pointed out, which really led to a lot of thinking, a lot of real churn. I mean, not just med devices. Today, India imports 78% of medical devices, 80% of edible oils, and the list goes on. The list goes on. There are several things for which we are heavily dependent. Even the pharmaceutical industry that I just talked about. Heavy dependence on importing APIs from China. So my point is, if we really have to make a statement and make an impact on the world stage, I think we have to think at scale. Our Honorable Chief Minister led a delegation to China in 2015 as part of the World Economic Forum summer event. He went to a place called Shichou. I think if I'm pronouncing it right, it's Shichou. He was amazed to see a 70,000 acre industrial park. 70,000 acres. When he came back, he told us, he said, they are on a different planet. वो अलग दुनिया में है, अलग planet में है. अगर हमारी मुकाबला उनके साथ करना है, तो हमें कुछ और ही करना पड़ेगा, ये नहीं चलेगा. ये जो हम लोग कर रहे हैं दिन दिन, ये नहीं चलेगा, कुछ और ही करना पड़ेगा. The point I'm trying to make, gentlemen and ladies, is I think federations are good, sense of competition among Indian states is good, but the fact is, even after 75 years of independence, I mean, I can take relative comfort. जब अनिल जी कहते हैं, अरुण जी कहते हैं कि तेलंगाना ब्राइट स्पॉट है, मुझे खुशी होती है, खुशी महसूस होती है, क्योंकि अच्छा लगता है सुनने को कि हम बाकी राज्यों से बेहतर है. बट एक हिंदुस्तानी होने के नाते यू ऑल्सो फील बैड. अच्छा नहीं लगता सुन के कि हम 78% मेडिकल डिवाइसेस इंपोर्ट करते हैं, 80% एडिबल ऑयल्स इंपोर्ट करते हैं. एज ए इंडियन सिटीजन, एज एन इंडियन, यू डोंट फील गुड अबाउट इट. So my humble request to you is, I think Telangana should not just be a bright spot among all Indian states. हमें बाकी हिंदुस्तान को भी रास्ता दिखाना चाहिए और बताना चाहिए कि business on a global scale, impactful statement कैसे करना चाहिए. And I request FTCCI to start thinking big, to start dreaming big, to start really aspiring to do more things. I understand that there are impediments. I understand that there are always going to be challenges. और काफी बार मुझे ये भी सुनने को मिला कि हाँ ठीक है, पर अगर हम रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट इज गुड, अगर पैसा बना रहे हैं, सब चल रहा है ठीक ठाक, तो ज्यादा सोचने की क्या बात है, जो चल रहा है चलने दो. और हिंदुस्तान में एक आदत हमारी है जो सब चलता है एटीट्यूड. आई थिंक एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, इफ इंडिया रियली हैज टू टेक इट्स प्लेस अंडर द सन in the first world where it rightfully belongs, we all have to start thinking big, we all have to start dreaming big. And I can give you 2-3 examples. There's a company in Hyderabad, Azad Engineering I think it is called. I'm proud, they started right in front of our eyes. But today, they are working with global majors like Boeing, GE and others. I was so impressed learning about this company and what the kind of partnerships they've been forging. Not just that, I'm equally impressed and equally proud that Skyroot, जिसका आपने जिक्र किया अरुण जी, the first Indian space tech company to have sent a rocket into the orbit came from T-Hub. And what's even more impressive is Elon Musk जैसे thought leader and a disruptor